Hi guys, it's Nick. Welcome back to my channel. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about how to choose a couch. Now, if you guys saw my video where I talked about trends that need to go, you'll notice that I gave a less than stellar endorsement on the marshmallow couch. So that is those big, poofy, ugly, well, I mean, your taste is your taste, but they're ugly. I mentioned in that video that there are so many beautiful, wonderful, amazing, fabulous couches out there, and we don't need to be wasting our time and money on these marshmallow couches, which are hideous. So you guys responded and said, Nick, could you please tell me about these beautiful, fabulous couches? And I said yes. So in this video, we're gonna be talking about how to select a couch, what criteria you should be looking for, as well as I'm gonna be going through some of the retailers that I really like for couches. And yeah, let's go through it. Okay, so my tip number one for how to choose a couch or sofa is to really know the function of the sofa or the sectional that you're going to be putting in. So when planning your layout for your couch or your sectional or your side chairs or whatever, really think about the function of the space that you're trying to create. I always encourage that your sofas and your different couches and side chairs all should be sort of facing each other to be really conducive to conversation in your space. So sometimes I see, and you know what, guys, I'm gonna throw my mom under the bus again. And I know you guys said in my other video where I made fun of her for the dusty rose pink carpet that you guys said I shouldn't make fun of my mother, but if you met my mom, you know she can take care of herself, and she does not, she can put up with all the sass that I give her, so don't you worry about her. So I'm gonna throw my mom under the bus because our living room that I grew up in, I swear, had the love seat on one side, it had a couch on the other side, and it had this giant abyss in the middle, which I'm assuming was for yoga, or I don't really know what this space was for. But there was a lot of room just doing nothing. And it's not really conducive to sort of have one person on the other side of the room and you're kind of like shouting to see how they're doing. It just doesn't make sense. So try to create a space that's conducive to conversation where people can face each other and it's functional for what you're looking for in that space. So don't just push all your couches to opposite sides of the room, bring them together, have a coffee table and some side tables, and really create a space that's conducive for conversation. Also look to things like, is there a television? Is there a fireplace, right? So really position the furniture to be able to sort of interact with whatever you need it to. Okay, so tip number two, once you know the function of the space, tip number two is so important, and that is to measure. Make sure that everything is going to fit in the space as you want it to. So get out that measuring tape, don't start shopping, don't go in that description down below and start clicking on those links and be like, oh, I love that couch. I know you love that couch, but you need to make sure that couch is going to work in your space. So it's kind of like a piece of clothing, you know, like a shirt from Gucci is amazing, but if it's two sizes too small, it's not gonna look good. Do you know what I'm saying? So just make sure that the couch, the sofa that you have is going to fit the space as you need it. So really make sure that when you're doing some basic space planning in your room, make sure that the sofa and the couches and the chairs and everything that's gonna be fitting together is not so small and dinky that it looks like it's drowning in the space that it's in, or, and this happens more often, is that it's too big for the space and it just looks like everything is really overstuffed and overcrowded and just looks really uncomfortable. So make sure that you're allocating the right amount of space in your room that's gonna work for all the different furniture pieces that you have that are gonna meet your functional needs. See tip one. Okay, my third tip, and then we're gonna get to some of the specific couches and all that sort of stuff, is a note on quality. So when looking for a couch or looking for a sofa, you're gonna be looking for like a solid hardwood frame. So anything that's made out of plywood or particle board is gonna be a cheaper couch, right? This is one of the main differences, I think, between like a $400 couch and like a $2,000 couch. So I think it's called a kiln dried hardwood base, are kind of the really words that you're gonna be looking for ideally. And you're really looking for something in solid hardwood. Because remember, if the fillings or the cushions or everything start to wear, if the base is solid and a really good quality, you will be able to reupholster them if you so choose. If it's a plywood, probably not necessarily going to be reupholstered. So that's kind of the biggest difference, and that's going to be a big factor in determining price. Okay, so now for the fun part, let's talk couches. I'm going to talk to you specifically about some retailers that I really like. None of these are sponsored. That's not to say I'm above a sponsor, it's just that no one ever gives me anything free. So I would happily take free product or money, but no one gives me anything. So none of this is sponsored, not by choice. So these are just places that I really like their products. I've tested their couches, or I own their couches, or I have in the past, and that's why I recommend them to you lovely people. Okay, so first retailer that I really love for couches is article.com. If you guys know this channel, you know I'm a big fan of Article, and they should call me, but they have not. An Article, I'm gonna point out the first one is the Ceni, C-E-N-I couch. It's I have this couch, full disclosure. I'm not gonna lie to you, this is the one that I actually have in my living room, which this is not my living room, by the way. This is an Airbnb. If you guys didn't know that already, I've mentioned it a few times. But anyway, the Ceni couch is what I have at home, and I really love this couch. I do find that Article is a really great value. So it's not the cheapest of cheap places in the world, but it's also just really fairly priced for the value that you're gonna get. So most of the products, if not all of the couches that I've seen on their website, do have a solid wood frame, and they do use great quality fabrics and leathers as well. And the Ceni couch is a really beautiful, really comfortable couch. It feels very mid-century modern to me. It wouldn't be amiss in like a Scandi place, especially if you go for some of these really gorgeous lighter fabrics like the snow version that I have here. Another one I love is this timber couch from Article, and it comes in this beautiful chocolate brown. It would just look really at home, I think, in like an industrial space. If you are doing a mid-century, you're gonna see a lot of mid-century modern on this list, I'm not gonna lie, because that just seems like so much of the trend of really modern sofas, especially ones that I like. So mid-century modern is gonna feature heavily in this list, but I would say this chocolate brown, or you've got this gorgeous, gorgeous tobacco colored, which is awesome. Also, how cute is this Mia? So this is MEA. This is a wonderful couch from Article. It is super, super cute. It's got these like really gorgeous sort of chunky arms. I think it would look amazing in a boho space, in a Scandi space, even something quite contemporary. I just think it's a really beautiful and really just cute little couch. So the Mia is really beautiful. And again, it's got all the different quality markings that you're going to expect from Article. And the only flaw to Article is that they don't, at least for now, they don't have a place for you to really try out their stuff. And you know, that's something that's just the reason they're able to offer good prices, I think, for the quality that you get is because it's like an online only. But when it comes to couches, I hear you, it's really difficult to recommend a couch or to commit to buying a couch when you haven't sat in it. That's unfortunate. I'll tell you, I really love my Ceni couch, and definitely I would buy it again if I could do it all over again. So I don't know if that maybe helps your decision making, but also really just take a look at their return policy, because it is difficult buying couches online, I'm not gonna lie, but couches are so good that that's why I put them on this list. Okay, next up, let's talk about Crate & Barrel, another one of my favorite retailers. So this one here is called the Luna. It's got this really amazing sort of like gathered fabric around. It's kind of embracing this curved design, which, as you know, if you saw my 2021 trend video, curves are very in right now. I just love this sort of like gathered plush look. It just feels really casual, and it just feels really, really comfortable and really homey, just like you just want to curl up on that with a nice blanket. This feels like it would be at home in just a really like modern Scandinavian space, especially in this gorgeous light sort of creamy color. It's just a really beautiful couch. I also think this is really would feel at home in a boho space, because boho just always has that sort of weird funky vibe going on to it, and I'm just really getting that from this couch. Okay, let's move on to another one from Crate & Barrel, which is this leisure power recliner. Bet you didn't see that there was going to be a recliner on this list. For those of you I saw in the comments where you said, I really want a beautiful, fashionable, gorgeous contemporary couch, but my partner refuses to part with a recliner, this could be a really great healthy compromise for you, because this is something that's really sexy, really slim, got these beautiful contemporary slim sides to them, while also reclines. And you wouldn't necessarily know it by looking at it, which I like. So I just feel like both sides can come together in perfect harmony and have this beautiful recliner that just doesn't look like one. Okay, next on my list, also from Crate & Barrel, is this Gather sofa. I think is beautiful. Now, this is something that I think is just really adaptable to a bunch of different spaces. So it comes in this beautiful linen polyester blend, and it is, I think it would look great in a transitional space. I think it would just look really comfy and squishy and homey in a Scandinavian space, you know, even in a farmhouse space. This just looks really comfortable, really beautiful. It's definitely a really good quality couch. It's gonna last you for a really long time. This is just a beautiful all-around crowd pleaser. Okay, now let's also talk about the Sherwood couch, which this one I think is less likely to appeal to a wide range of people than the Gather couch. But I think the Sherwood is really beautiful and looks totally at home in a mid-century, and also kind of feels a little bit Japandi to me. I don't know about you guys, but it's kind of just this really dark brown wood that I just think would look really gorgeous and sort of leans into that sort of Japanese zen, but it's got this beautiful sort of light, natural, linen polyester fabric, which I just think works really well with that light and airy feel of a Japandi space. So for you Japandi people that saw my last video, I think this couch would be a really solid pick for you. Okay, let's move over to one of my other favorite retailers, which is CB2. And this couch here, which I love, is called the Curvo. And here it is pictured in the Shearling fabric. So it's designed in collaboration with Goop, which don't hold that against it because it's actually really, really cool. And I just love that it's got this like asymmetrical curves, which is just really not typical. Really leans into those curves, which are super, super trendy right now. This Shearling, I mean, this fabric is a bit much for me. I personally would opt for the snow version, which is like this really beautiful light cream version, a little bit more, I think less trendy. Like I think it's gonna be a little bit more likely to stand the test of time than this Shearling version, but that's just me. I just wanted to feature it because it's just a really, really gorgeous design. Okay, next up is the CB2 Valmar sofa. Now this is one sexy sofa. So you've got it pictured here in like this beautiful gray velvet. It's just got this wonderful, amazing curve to it. But here's the thing, sometimes curves can be difficult to place in a room because our rooms are generally square. And so that makes it quite difficult to be able to fit in a space. But this just has a little bit of a gentle curve to it. So it gives you the feel of that curve, which is kind of really interesting and cool and different than your typical squared off edges. But it'll also fit really well in your space plan. Okay, next up is the Forte channeled sofa. So this is also from CB2. This in the leather, I think is gorgeous in an industrial space. I also think it's got this really beautiful velvet as well. It could work in an industrial space. It could work in something that's really contemporary. It's got a really chunky sort of masculine feel to it. I love the like old meets new sort of blend. Like it feels very current, but it's also got like sort of a little bit of an old world charm in sort of the detailing on the couch. Just a really, really beautiful couch. And again, it's kind of done what the previous couch also did, which is that it's got some round edges to it, but it's still quite squared off. So you're still gonna feel like, although it's kind of got a little bit of rounding, which just kind of softens it a little bit, it's still overall gonna be quite squared off and easy to fit into your space plan. Okay, that's it for me for today, guys. If you wanna check out my trends that I am super over, where I talk all about the marshmallow couch and why I'm not a big fan, then feel free to check that out in the video over here, and I will see you all in the next video. Thanks, bye.